Hi there, Pisces. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we're looking at April 3 through April 9. Every cloud has its silver lining, Pisces, and even though the forecast for this week looks pretty torrential rain, flash flooding, all that good stuff, there are a few rays of sunshine. The first sunbeam is late Wednesday, April 5, when Mars makes a productive Earth trine to Pluto. If you don't take advantage of this trine this week, you get a second shot at it in October. There's big news early the next day, April 6, when Saturn goes out of phase. Saturn, of course, is the planet of father time, of patience, of life lessons. It doesn't go out of phase very often, but it's decided to go out of phase through the end of August. And it's going out of phase, as I said, in Sagittarius, your 10th house of career and self-esteem and respect, and how your co-workers observe and feel about you. So it's actually a very important house for you. The good news about the Saturn retrograde, Pisces, is that success will be yours if you buckle down and tackle any unfinished business. The next 5 months of the Saturn retrograde period are not good times to try to change the status quo, especially in Saturn-ruled areas like your career or in dealings with authority figures. There's another ray of sunshine expected on Friday, April 7, when Jupiter, the planet of good luck and fortune, sits opposite the Sun. Now, Jupiter is in Libra, it's out of phase, and the Sun, of course, is in Aries. This restless face-off occurs only once a year and brings with it a general feeling of optimism. Now, if there's something we can all deal with, it's a general feeling of optimism. Depending on how Jupiter is configured in your natal chart, it can also open the door to travel and broadening your perspective through higher education. The shadow side of the Sun-Jupiter meeting includes exaggerating the sunny side of life and overextending yourself. A dark cloud is on the horizon on Saturday, April 8, when Venus, the goddess of love, in your sign, makes the second of 4 squares with Saturn. Now, Venus is still in Pisces, where she's very happy, but the difference between this square and the first one in January is that Venus is retrograde in Pisces. And unfortunately, Venus retrograde in a square with Saturn retrograde is a bit of a recipe for disaster. It's a double negative for love and self-esteem, and not a good sign financially. More storms are on the way later on Saturday when the Aries Sun squares off with Pluto. That's when your desires can clash with bigger circumstances and you can get mixed up in an intense power struggle. Now, Sunday, Mercury decides to join up with Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn and take himself off on a retrograde jaunt. So more on that next week because it's happening on Sunday. And as you know, whenever Mercury goes retrograde, Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong will go wrong, is in full effect. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great speaking to you. Try to have a great week. Stay dry, and I'll speak to you again next week, Pisces. Thanks.